The war before time. Before time was measured, before the stars were hung in the void, before the first breath of mortal air, there was the Grand Council. God, the eternal, the source of all things, called together all his creations. From the infinite reaches of pre-existence, souls assembled, radiant in their intelligence, vast in their number, bound by a singular purpose, the forging of a new reality. He stood before us, not merely as creator, but as Father, and he revealed the great design, a universe, tangible and ordered, where we would take bodies of flesh and walk a path of trial. The risk was severe. Many would not return, some would fall forever. But for those who endured, the reward was beyond measure, to ascend, to evolve, to become as he is. The plan was set. It was not forced upon us. Each was given the agency to choose, to accept or reject the decree of the Almighty. Many were hesitant, fearful of what was to come. Others burned with the fire of purpose, eager to descend into mortality, and almost all agreed. Then the great command was given. The universe was to be created, and for this task God entrusted his greatest and most noble ones. Among them stood the first of this creation, the one we would come to know as Jesus Christ. To him God conferred the authority to bring forth the cosmos. Under his word he gathered others, and together they wove the fabric of reality. And lo, the first breath of existence unfurled. The great expansion began. What was once a singularity now stretched forth as an endless sea of galaxies, stars, and worlds. The visible and the invisible were crafted by their hands, bound together by the laws of the divine. But as the first creation was set in motion, Lucifer arose, equal in wisdom, a brother of great standing, one of the mightiest of our kin. He stood before the hosts, his voice like fire, and he proclaimed his own design. Why should we risk our beloved? Why should any be lost? His reasoning was flawless, his vision elegant. His was a path of certainty. None would fall, none would suffer, none would be required to prove their worth, for worth was given, not earned, and many believed. Many turned from the decree of God and followed Lucifer, for his words resonated with their fears, their longings, their desire for a path without pain. The rebellion began, not in fire and blood, but in persuasion, in rhetoric, in quiet conversations that spread like the whisper of a coming storm. A war of influence raged across the heavens, and the rebels grew in number. They waged battle, not with swords, but with words, loyalty, and deception. The conflict was fierce, for among those who turned away were not the weak, not the lesser, but the strongest, the brightest, the most gifted of our kind. 1/3 fell to his cause, and I was among them. I too rebelled. I fought to persuade, to convince, to turn the tide. I sought to bring others with me, for I believed that our way was salvation for all. I watched as my friends, my family, those I loved, stood beside me, forsaking the plan of our Father. And we knew one thing with certainty. Among all the universes, across all the multiverses, there would be only one where the Son of God would descend, only one where the atonement would be made, only one where the true war would be fought and won. We knew that in time all things would collapse, that the expansion would one day reverse, that in the end all would return to a single point, a singularity, a crystallized intelligence, a superconscious reality where all things are one. Lucifer promised this return. he guaranteed it, and so we fought. But within the rebellion, another faction arose. Not all who followed Lucis sought salvation for all. Among us were those who envied the keys given to Christ and his chosen ones. These key clutchers, as they were called, sought after the keys of power, believing that in them lay dominion. But they did not seek the power itself, only the keys, forgetting that the power was God himself, flowing through those worthy to wield it. The key clutchers cared not for ascension, nor for unity, nor for salvation. Their desire was singular, to take that which was given to Christ, to wrest dominion from the rightful hands. And so the first secret combination was formed. Bound by blood oaths, by mutual imprecations, they sought to kill the Son of God. The war raged beyond time. It was longer than ages, longer than epochs. And in the midst of it, God, in his infinite justice, extended one final offer of redemption. Any who would return could do so, standing on even ground with the loyalists, as if they had never rebelled. And so I chose. I turned from Lucis. I returned to the side of God. And in those final days of war, I fought not to destroy, but to redeem. I reached out to those who had stood beside me, and I brought millions back with me. Not alone, never alone, but with others who had also seen the truth. And for this we were given crowns of glory, not as a reward but as a protection, a shield against those who still bore hatred for us, those who sought vengeance for our betrayal. Even now they recognize us. They see us in the streets, in the forgotten places of the world, sometimes in the eyes of the broken, the lost, the possessed, sometimes through the mouths of the wandering, the mad. They see us and they know, and still they hate. For the war is not over. The battle did not end in heaven. It descended with us. It wages on, unseen by most, but felt by all. And so let this be a warning. To seek power is to manifest God's will, but to seek only the keys and place them above power itself is a curse. The key clutchers are lost, hoarding what they do not understand, obsessed as Gollum with his precious ring. For the key itself is nothing without the one who wields it. And now the dream fades, but the memory remains. For this was not a story told, nor a vision imagined. I lived this. And though time and veil obscure, it returns to me piece by piece, and I remember.